Welcome back to Pick It Built. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so after a week or so, the suspension has settled a little bit with these new coils, and we are getting quite a bit of rub. And looking in here, here's where it's actually rubbing. It's just hitting this plastic part, and it's getting real close here. Now this is a 285/65/18 BF Goodwrench, the KOs, and it's time for some new tires, and I'm thinking that we're going to have to go down a size in tire. That being said, we're going to try going down a size in tire. I'm hoping that not only will I get that solve my rubbing issues, but maybe even being a lighter tire and better gas mileage on top of that. Alright, so from ground to the bottom of the fender, we're looking at 38 inches. Front to fender, 38 inches. Alright, so these 285s are about (31¼ inches. So it's not a 33-inch tire, 31¼ inches. Alright, we are now on the rear. So right in the center here, we're looking at 38½ inches. Alright, so tread width is about 9½. Alright guys, we're in the vehicle now, and I've been experiencing some vibrating issues. I don't remember having vibrating issues when I had the 3-inch lift on the front, but now with the new springs, it's lowered my front end a little bit. Now it seems like I'm dealing with some vibration issues. Could just be the alignment. It could be that it's the older tires, and now the having to get a new alignment. The wear on the tires is causing some vibrations, but I'm gonna take you guys for a drive and kind of show you what I'm talking about. And once we get new tires on there, we'll see if it resolves the problem or not. You guys can catch or hear any of that vibration. It seems to be right around 30 miles per hour. You know, so I'm not sure what's causing that. I got multiple issues, I guess. Anytime you lift a truck, you're dealing with changing all the factory angles, and so, you know, maybe I'm just dealing with a bag of worms. I'm having to learn all this the hard way. You know, when I first did all this lift, it was back in '07 when I bought this truck. So I guess I was younger and dumber. You know, half of it was for looks, and now I want more performance out of it. And so I'm having to backtrack on all these mods and kind of learn the hard way. I guess everybody goes through that phase with these Tacomas. You think you do your research, but you know, after a while you learn just out of performance and real world environment and getting it off road, and you know, and then it doesn't perform the way you want it to, and so then you have to backtrack and cost you time and money. Alright, so we got some new rubber shoes on the Tacoma, and these are the Falken Wildpeak All-Terrains. 275/65/18, and I went one size smaller than I had on before. I had 285s originally. I was getting a little bit of rub since we lowered the suspension just a little bit, and I wanted to avoid that, and so I went one size smaller with the 275s, and no rub now. But what I would like to do is do a little measuring and see if we lost any height on the fenders, and just do a little tire size comparison on what we're working with here. Alright, front fender, center of the tire, we're looking at right under 38 inches. Front tire is right at 31 inches. So tread 9.5 inches. From the center, looks like 39 inches. So after writing all the measurements down, here's about the only thing that I'm seeing as far as a difference. The old tires, that was the KOs, the BFGs, they were about 31.25 inch as far as tire size. Now, of course, that's after 60,000 miles worth of wear, so that they're probably even taller than that. You know, that's after the tread wear loss. But tire, 31 inches on the Falkens. So we only lost about 1/4 inch worth of height. And as far as the measurements on the fender, everything is really close. Alright, looks like I even gained some on the rear, so that might be just tire pressure. Could have changed that measurement. So, alright, let's move on. So one of the main reasons I went with these Falkens was just price, for one. I think I ended up spending $170 a tire, which is about anywhere from 50 to 75 bucks cheaper per tire than the BFG, the KO2s. Also, I couldn't find any bad reviews on these tires. Everyone seemed to be they're just hyped up and loving them. I also wanted to see if, since this is a P-rated tire versus the LT tire, I was hoping that these would ride a little softer and give me back a little bit of that factory ride quality that it used to have when the truck was new. And so I'm hoping for that as well. So also, if you guys remember earlier in the video, we were talking about a little vibrations. So I went ahead and got the carrier bearing drop kit, Old Man Emu carrier bearing drop kit, and we're going to install this and see if it solves all our vibration issues and see how this thing drives after it's all done. So here's what the kit came with. We've got the 2 spacers. Alright, give you a perspective on spacer size there. 2 washers, 2 lock washers, and 2 17mm bolts here. We've got a 17mm socket and a 14mm socket. That should be all we need. So let's get this changed out. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and bring you guys up under here with me and just show you my observation here. Alright, so this is where this little spacer is going to go. It's going to go under here, and what I can already see is this is where the drive shaft is coming through, and as it is right now, it's almost touching here on this rubber seal, and at the top up here there's definitely, I can stick my finger in there, and at the bottom I can't. And so this is definitely a sign of my angles need to come down a little bit. So I'm betting that this spacer, as I lower this, it's going to center this drive shaft up, and this could be what our problem was, and I hope this fixes it. But I wanted you guys to see exactly what could be an issue on your truck as well. Alright, let's get this in here and get it finished up. Alright, we got both those installed, everything's tightened up. Now I'm looking at the gap here, and there's still a little bit of a difference, but it's much better than it was. So let's get out from under here and take this thing for a test drive and see if that solves our vibration issues. Alright, accelerating. Yeah, we still got a vibration. Damn it. It's frustrating. I mean, it's not terrible. These tires are so smooth now that you notice it even worse. Every little vibration, you can just feel it. It seems to only be right around 30 miles per hour for me on this truck. Now we're up to about 40 miles per hour now, and everything feels smooth as butter. On that note, guys, hey, if anybody else has any other ideas, I did notice on that spacer drop that if you dropped it just a little bit more, it would center it up in that carrier bearing even better. And so I might put a couple extra washers in there and see if I can get that perfectly centered, and maybe that would solve it. But other than that, it's not the needle bearing in the front. It's definitely coming from that drive shaft area. And so I feel like we can solve this. We just got to get it right. Yep, 30 miles per hour. That's where it's triggering. And I already did the four-wheel drive check for the needle bearing. It's definitely not that. That's just frustrating because before I changed the front suspension, I wasn't having any vibration issues. I guess for a softer ride suspension versus the jackhammer stiffness of what before, that little 30 mile per hour vibration is livable in comparison, but it's still annoying. Alright guys, I'll meet you back at the house and we'll do our outtake. Well, not every video ends with success, and so I'm gonna still continue to fickle with that a little bit, see if I can't put a couple washers in there like I was talking about, and see if I can align that perfectly. But other than that, we have got some new rubber on here. I'm totally satisfied with these new tires. I'm excited to see how these do over time, and thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. Alright, so we got the Tacoma, blah. Video bomb. These are the Falken Wildpeak